Welcome to What's Trending with Tire Review, presented by Apex 2022. I'm Maddie Weiner, and today I'm joined by Michael Graber, recently named President and CEO of Toyo Tire USA. Michael has extensive tire industry experience with 8 years with Toyo under his belt, serving most recently as Vice President of Sales and before that, Director of Truck Tire Sales for Toyo. He has also served in sales roles with Michelin and in the agricultural and waste industries. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Maddie. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I know a lot's happening at Toyo, and congratulations on your new position here. So
Thank you.
you've recently, yeah, that's great. You've recently taken over the helm of Toyo's U.S. business, but obviously aren't new to the industry. So, in what ways are you most excited to see Toyo Tires grow?
Well, Maddie, I've been here for 9 years now, so I've
Okay.
been here for a lot of growth, a lot of transformation of the company in different roles. So that's the most most excited about the chance to lead this company with people I consider friends and colleagues throughout my various roles here. So it's very exciting, and we have a great product. We're poised for growth. We just need more tires, like the rest of the industry. We struggle with a little bit with our supply, but we are working on that, and the excitement is out there on the Toyo brand. So that's exciting to me. We have opportunity here, great partners in the dealer and distributor ranks, along with a committed group here in Cypress, California, at our corporate office.
Awesome, very cool. Well, yeah, we're looking forward to following that growth. And I know part of that has come with the launch of the Celsius Sport UHP this past year. It's a UHP all-weather tire, and that's a very specific segment. So I'm curious, why was the UHP all-weather segment attractive to Toyo?
Well, years ago, we identified an all-weather segment or need in the market. The customers were asking for something in between an all-season and a pure snow tire. So our engineers went to work, and we came up with the Celsius brand of tires, the tire line, more than a brand, the Toyo Celsius. And through our natural product growth, the UHP segment really stood out to us for a new product. A lot of people don't want to switch to winter tires. You
Hmm.
know, we identified that through talking to our dealers. They want to have something that they can run year round and have the same performance characteristics as their all season and their winter tires. So the Celsius really works well, especially in the UHP. It's flying off the shelves. We released it in March, and it's just really taken off in the market. So we're excited. We have more Celsius coming down the pike in different segments. So it's a brand we're growing with and really excited about.
Very cool. That's interesting. And yeah, all weather you're saying is a growth segment for Toyo. Is that how you're looking at it? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's a growth segment really for the whole industry,
Hmm.
Toyo specifically. We identified just that need between the all season and the winter to people don't like switching tires. Now, some markets you still have to have winter tires. It's just a necessity. But in other markets where you might need them a shorter period of time during the winter months, the Celsius is really a good option, and you don't have to switch them out, and they work well on the dry pavement in the spring and the summer. So it's a growing market. Other competitors are introducing products in the same segment, but we really are taking off with it here at Toyo on the Celsius brands.
Interesting. Now I'm curious. How do you feel the all-weather segment will play with the all-season and winter segments? Do you think, some of the, I guess, market share from all-season and winter will go into all-weather? Or, how are you seeing all-weather segment growth in relation to those other two?
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of market share from each of them, but it's for that one those climates where you have a little bit of snow but not enough where you want to run winter tires. It's for people who don't want to keep two sets of tires or get them swapped out.
Hmm.
And we really just think there's a need there. the market will grow organically, but we think it'll probably take a little bit out of both the winter products and the all season products in all segments, not just in the UHP.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Well, yeah. Well, we're curious to see how the all weather segment grows as well. And I know the last mile delivery segment too is a huge commercial tire segment. Toyo plays in this segment pretty heavily. The 19.5-inch size is really growing, as well as other sizes, of course. But I believe the last tire Toyo released in this segment was the Celsius Cargo. So how's Toyo communicating how is Toyo catering to the last mile segment right now?
Well, you're right, and it's a growing segment. I think we all, especially COVID pandemic buying habits, we all have bought e-commerce things along the way here.
Right.
I know my family's an avid e-commerce shopper. Now you have different parts of the last mile. You have the vans that actually deliver the products to your house, and those are what we call Euro vans or cargo vans. And we do have a great product for that, the Celsius Cargo, as a matter of fact, the all-season version, and the HO9 Plus for the all-season. But beyond just the cargo vans, we also have the trucks that bring those materials to the warehouses to be delivered to the houses, where it falls in the 19.5s and the TBR sizes. So we have great products. We identified the super regional segment as a need for the market and a growing segment even before 2020. So we were ready for when the pandemic hit to have tires that go on the trucks and perform in the way that trucks are used now instead of the way they used to be used.
Yeah,
instead of the
sure.
launch to coast hauls, you're seeing more hub and spoke style deliveries, quick deliveries, turnarounds. And we need to have tires that perform well in those situations. High scrub, also fuel efficient with good traction, but also long life. And by the way, retreadable. So the customers want it all, and we're here to try to figure out a way to do it. So we're really excited. That's one segment of the business that we identified before the pandemic that has really exploded during the pandemic, and we are ready with great products for that segment.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we'll look to see what's coming down the line as well. So for that segment, how do you see that playing a role for tire dealers and their businesses in the future? Obviously, Toyo is, creating tire technology around, what those tires are subject to, the elements that they're subject to. But how do you feel this segment may play a greater role or just a different role in dealers' businesses going forward?
I think it'll play a greater role because the whole industry, rural or urban, is impacted by this e-commerce. And these vans are everywhere. And so small retailers in a rural market will be just as impacted as big retailers or even commercial dealers in bigger markets. So I think it's an opportunity for everybody. It's more vehicles on the road, frankly. The tires wear off quickly because of the way they're used. It's high mileage, it's high scrub, it's high utilization. So it's an opportunity for our dealers to get repeat business, even multiple times a year on the same vehicle, and it's an opportunity for service as well. So it's a big win for the tire industry in general, and something that I think all the manufacturers are focused on with having good products to supply those trucks.
Yeah. Big win for all levels of the tire industry, that's for sure. Yeah, that's interesting.
Exactly.
Very cool. So, Mike, I wanted to talk about supply chain. I know it's something that's on everyone's minds. It's a headache for the whole industry, but I did want to ask, a lot of manufacturers that I've been talking to have said, we've optimized our supply chain a little bit more because of the COVID pandemic and slowdowns from that, limited container space, growing logistics costs, things like that. So can you describe how Toyo has optimized its supply chain in recent years?
Yeah, we're we're impacted heavily by the supply chain bottlenecks, especially tires coming from Asia. We
Mm-hmm.
import about 65, 40, well, 55% of our tires come from Asian, Japan and Malaysia. So we really suffered from the shipping container shortage and just the slowdown.
Right.
What we've done, what we're really excited about, the biggest thing we've done is we're opening a new plant that should be online in July for the initial production. We should start seeing tires in the U.S. maybe first part of next year, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Serbia. So what we've done is we've added a plant to the system. We currently source from 4 factories worldwide. This will give us a 5th. A lot of the tires out of Serbia are earmarked for North America and the U.S. So we are just bringing tires in from Asia through the West Coast and from Europe through the East Coast. So try to maximize our availability and get the tires to the customers quicker. Because the one thing we hear from the customers is we want the tires faster, we want more of them, and what can you do to get us more tires? So this is what we're doing. We invested during the pandemic. We didn't slow down our investments. We added to it. We sort of doubled down on the growth opportunities, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we'll be reaping the benefits of that here in the near future.
Yeah, yeah. And with that Serbia plant, you said, some of the production out of that will be, I guess, for lack of a better word, earmarked for the North American market. Is there a timeline for when, that product will be able to come here and will be sort of in, I guess, full capacity for the market?
Full capacity will probably be mid-year next year. We'll start seeing some supply third and fourth quarter of 2022 in certain patterns. But we'll start with one building machine and then grow up to full capacity probably next year. So we're really excited about it. Some of the unrest in Europe has probably created more supply for us here in the U.S., so that's a good thing. And we're ready to sell the tires when we get them. And they're for the U.S. We're making a lot of the U.S. sizes, and this will also give us some efficiencies at our White, Georgia factory, where we make a lot of our light truck products. And we'll be able to optimize that plant for the U.S. market by getting some of the exported tires out into the other plants in the rest of the world.
Got it. Okay, very interesting. So with the Georgia plant during the pandemic, were you all forced to increase capacity there, or was that plant affected by some of these supply challenges in the rest of the world?
Well, it was. It's definitely been impacted by raw material shortages and labor, like everybody else. During the beginning of the pandemic, we had a lot of supply. We had plenty of inventory. What our dealers were telling us back then is they expected business to go down significantly. So we did slow down production to match demand. As we all know, the business didn't really slow down as much as everyone predicted. So we quickly got that back up to speed. But we did have some slowdowns in 2020. And that never really recovered until very recently, where there was a delayed lag effect on shutting down in 2020. So we were impacted. We made some decisions back then that were the right decisions, but we are back up to full capacity and increasing efficiency. We're out of space there, frankly, so we can't really expand that plant. But what we can do is make it more efficient, get some tires into the other plants around the world, and build the U.S. light truck tires in that plant in Georgia.
Got it. Okay, got it. So working out all of that right now, then is that right?
It is. We're moving a lot of chess pieces around where it makes most sense, where it makes most logistical sense to get the tires to the different worldwide markets.
Yeah.
But we're actively working on that, anticipating the U.S. will continue to grow on Toyo brand and have as many tires as we can get for the U.S. market.
Got it. Well, that's great to hear. So, Mike, as Toyo Tire USA's new president and CEO, what would you like Toyo dealers across the country to know about the brand going forward?
Well, I'm happy to tell the dealers out there, we're not going to change much. We are going to continue what we've been doing. And when I do go out to the market, and as VP of sales, I was out in the market a lot, all we hear is get us more tires and keep doing what you're doing. So that's my intent. We've been given the mandate really from Japan that they're happy with how we are performing here in the US, so they want to keep it going. So my message to our loyal Toyo dealers and customers is you can expect to see what we've been doing for the last 8 years. Our leader, Roy Bromfield, was here, and he really taught us how to run the business right, and it's worked. And there'll be changes along the way, but we really feel like we have a good foundation to grow and be good suppliers and good partners with our dealers.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. And Mike, thank you again so much for coming on the podcast today. I've really enjoyed our conversation. I appreciate you sharing all that Toyo is up to and what's to come in the future.
Well, thank you, Maddie. It's my pleasure, and always glad to meet with you and talk to the industry. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Have a good one.
You're welcome.